One of the trickiest things to do is to not get so enveloped in your problem that you can't escape it. And this is one of the things that, as a physical therapist, I really try to help people understand. And there's a lot of reasons for people to get what I would call enveloped by their symptoms. The first and foremost is that we view pain as something that is bad and negative. And to some extent, pain is bad. It sucks to be in pain, but it's also relatively simple in the fact that we're trying to protect ourselves, we're trying to remain alive, and we're trying to remain safe. Now, the tricky part for a lot of us, and this is multifactorial and complicated, is that pain is also something that we have learned to exhibit and be in over the course of our life. Look at a little kid when they're playing, they fall on the ground, they immediately look for the people around them to give them attention. And if, you lean into that, they make the experience greater than what it could have been. If you don't, a lot of times they just go back to playing. And I'm not trying to make this seem like some purely cognitive experience. It's a physical experience, it's an emotional experience, and like most things for humans, it's pretty complicated. The one thing that I see people do over and over again is start to talk about their symptoms and create stories in their heads that don't serve their long-term progression out of pain and into a higher level of capacity. And that's the way we do a lot of things. Is our pain, our job, our life starts to become something that is like a narrative, a story, instead of just us from moment to moment experiencing things, assessing things, and then moving forward and living. Today, I was talking with one of my clients who's going through some back pain, and I asked her what it would look like to just have a good day despite her back pain, and she kind of told me all the things that she would do. Another way to say this is if you didn't have any pain today, what would you do? And she basically laid out like what a good day looks like. And I said, all right, go try to do those things as best you can despite your pain. And, it's one of those things that it's kind of frustrating to hear initially, but at the end of the day, like, she's going to go live her life today. She might as well try to do it as calmly and self-compassionately as she can. And once you start to do that, you start to unravel the layers of like, oh, I can handle this. This may stink, but I can continue to move forward. And that is super powerful. So there's a lot of factors involved in this, but I think there's two really big things that I think you can start doing. And the first is to not talk to yourself and talk about your pain as in this way that you are broken and that you can't manage it. Yes, it can suck. Yes, it can be hard. And yes, it could be persistent for a long time. But so much of those narratives just perpetuate and become a vicious cycle of us being stuck in the symptoms that we're experiencing. The other thing is realizing that just your general health, like promoting health behaviors and being confident and courageous about stepping into an uncertain future can be really powerful. So do the things that you can to appropriately navigate things. Get a good amount of rest. Right? Sleep is huge for managing pain. Appropriate levels of activity, and often starting smaller than you would like and building up and allowing that time that it takes to take the time it takes. So much of it is people get back into exercise and they're just in such a rush to get the results that they just jump in and do way more than they're capable of. And if you just say, I'm going to make exercise and make training a lifelong habit, and I'm going to just build up appropriately and give and take as it comes, good things tend to happen. Exercising for performance and exercising for pain relief are both good things, but they're different. If you're exercising for performance, you need to, push hard, and you're probably going to get some feedback from your body, which I also think is actually advantageous for learning to manage pain. But if you've been stuck in a pain cycle for a while, what your exercise looks like should be a little bit lower intensity, more just general physical fitness with the goal of moving a lot, getting out of breath, and working around pain. But both are advantageous and both can be really useful tools. So remaining active and being optimistic in the face of your pain is super powerful. So don't overlook the fact that It's not purely in your head, but how you're thinking about it can contribute. And then go take action today to be optimistic about what you can do and move forward despite what you're going through. That's all I got for today. Peace.